I use the Rosemary Waldrop Shorter American Memory piece a lot when I'm working with history teachers,
Hmm.
because of the different ways in which it asks you to pay attention to the physical things that make up the historical document.
Yeah.
So, it lets historians kind of get away with the history and think about different ways to engage the students in language that they probably haven't really close read before.
Yeah. Um, History teachers. Ooh, I just made a mistake and uh, started to play that piece. Sorry. History teachers. Is anybody read a radical politics in it, even to the extent of taking offense at her rewriting of a sacred American document? Particularly as
Yeah,
someone who comes from Europe.
I mean, I think that a lot of the faculty that I've worked with have seen the radical politics, and I found it kind of a relief in contrast to the kind of dumbing down of assessments and standards.
Mm.
It really creates this path into a familiar text that I think enables a lot of teachers to remember why they wanted to teach history.
That's
So
really
to
interesting.
get excited about looking at old text critically.
Yeah. So can anyone, it doesn't have to be Erica, but maybe Dave or Max, can you say what it means, why that reassessment that Erica just described can happen when the first line of the Declaration, the famous first line, gets rendered as follows? We holler these trysts to be self-exiled, that all manatees are credited equidistant. How does that accomplish what Erica describes, if you think it does? Dave, Max?
Are you jumping in there, Dave?
No,
Or
I'll let you take it. I actually
I
missed
just
what
did
Erica
the
said.
moderator's mistake of calling two names so you guys don't know who to start. Max, you want to start? How does that do what Erica just described it might for history teachers?
the reassessment? Well, because I mean, it takes this phrase that's so well known that seems almost at this point as though it were handed down by like some kind of godlike authority or something. It seems almost incontrovertible. It can't be changed.
Mm.
Uh, it can't be interpreted otherwise, and it turns it into something funny, ostensibly with a procedure, an N plus procedure. But doesn't she say that she takes some liberties with that? Like I feel like she's, she's close in the procedure, but I think she's also picking words that are funny, like manatees and stuff. Like
Yeah.
she's trying to do something that is also comic on purpose to make that point. Like the point is more, I think, about uh, subverting and rendering comic
Yeah.
this sort of fundamental American
Right.
law. I think is what we would want
Right.
to call it.
Yeah, I want to turn to Anna and then Dave on this. I'm also going to throw out the phone number, 215-573-9752, 215-573-9752. Give us a call. So Jeffersonian sincerity, which no doubt was there at the time of this writing, has all but disappeared. I guess Max is implying the sincerity bleeds away when we simply repeat words as if it wasn't, in fact, a Democrat, small d, someone who was hoping democracy for all of his personal flaws and the flaws of the political class that he represented in Virginia. For all of those flaws, he represented some democratic sincerity that has been almost completely lost in the language. And so what Rosemary Waldrop, I would say, allegiantly, patriotically, in a way, as an immigrant, as someone who comes from afar, to be an American and who looks at the language in a kind of defamiliarized way, she's doing us a favor by making us think about the words originally. Yeah. Okay. So Anna, what did you want to say about this?
Yeah, I would agree that there's something about. I think we'd like to think, especially. I think this is true, especially of this particular document that she chose, the preamble to the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. Actually,
It's the
Declaration of Independence. Is that first of all, it's because it's something that we've been asked to memorize and asked to think of as a living document, right? We're
Yeah.
supposed to think of our, Declaration of Independence as this thing that's like persisted, and we still carry it with us as like these like founding principles of our nation.
Yeah.
And that's true also, I think, of the Constitution. We're supposed to see this like as a living document, as a document that can still be changed by adding more amendments to it. But actually doing this to the actual language makes it live even more. That this kind of engagement with the language, this messing with the words, I think does that kind of patriotic service, because by making it live anew, we're actually paying much closer attention to what it's really
Right.
trying to do.
And shifting attention is something that the poets of ModPo have challenged us to do from the beginning.
Yeah.
Certainly from Dickinson on. Dave Poplar, while you're preparing to speak, Jeff Garrett in the Twitter feed, ModPo Live, hashtag ModPo Live, and then hashtag Erica Baum. In fact, he meant hashtag Erica Kaufman, but whatever. Says definitely use these methods in the classroom, even ESL, which is a really interesting addition. Dave Poplar, your thought?
Yeah, I really like what Anna said about it being a living document, and I think it's interesting reading this because the words that were chosen, like Max says, they weren't just completely random, and the words that were chosen still make sense in the same structural way. It's not as if the nouns were or the verbs were replaced with completely nonsensical random things. So in a sense, even though these new sort of random words are inserted in this, it still retains the same structure, and you can still see the same original meaning. And I think it almost presents sort of a struggle with recognizing this original structure we've been forced to memorize that's such a part of our existence and our culture, and then changing it. And I think it's also interesting that the word creator remains the same too, so you could do a lot with that.